new details in the fatal crash that claimed the life of a Regina man and a player with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. What RCMP say they found at the scene. An inquest into the death of a man who died after being stopped by police is underway. Will his loved ones be satisfied with the testimony heard? And the competition that made a splash in Saskatoon over the weekend.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with new details about this weekend's fatal crash that left 2 people dead in the Lumsden area, a 22-year-old man from Regina and a linebacker with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. It happened Saturday night between Regina and Lumsden. The vehicle driven by Roughrider Jaden Dalke was traveling in the wrong direction along Highway 11 when it collided with the second vehicle. Sierra D'Souza Butts on what we know so far.
Monday morning, we heard from Saskatchewan RCMP for the first time since Saturday's collision, confirming a crash killed 2 men that happened on Highway 11 between Regina and Lumsden. RCMP say around 9 o'clock Saturday night, a silver SUV driven by Saskatchewan Roughrider Jaden Dalke was driving the wrong way in the southbound lane. It collided with a black SUV driven by a man identified as Bishma Rajaguru from Regina. Both drivers were the sole occupants of their respective vehicles at the time of the crash, and both declared dead on scene. Investigators say alcohol and cannabis were found in Dalke's silver SUV, adding autopsies and toxicology tests will be conducted as part of the ongoing investigation.
The RCMP isn't responsible for toxicology or autopsy results. We'll obviously be working with our partners at the Saskatchewan Coroner Service and labs to determine when that might be. I don't have a specific timeline in place right now.
The Mounties also say they received a report that about 30 minutes before the crash, a silver SUV left a business without paying for fuel in Lumsden, confirming it was Dalke's vehicle. Rajaguru's friends and family are currently working to make arrangements to have his body sent back to his home country in India. According to a GoFundMe, he had been living in Canada for more than 4 years, saying he came to Canada with big dreams and an even bigger heart. His future was incredibly bright, and his absence leaves a void that words simply cannot describe.
There's a lot of people hurting right now. There are 2 people who are deceased. This is extremely tragic. Additionally, they were very young and they were just living their life, right, on Saturday, and entire families' lives have changed since this occurred.
RCMP say the details provided in the fatal crash are beyond the scope of what's traditionally provided, but did so because of the public's interests, also admitting its shortfalls by not revealing these details sooner. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
Dalke's teammates are now left to come to terms with the crash as they return to practice today. Jacob Carr has the details on how the riders are remembering one of their own.
The Roughriders are banding together to remember their fallen teammate. Players like Jameer Thurman says his loss has left a void.
The last 2 years, sitting next to him in all our meetings, it was tough, but, you know, I know he's always watching over us, making sure that we are, you know, being held accountable for each other.
According to quarterback Trevor Harris, the impact of Dalke's death extends through the locker room and even branches out to the media.
It's a tough week. I mean, you can kind of feel that. I mean, I can feel the energy from you guys. You know, it's one of those things that's palpable. But if you weren't hurt or you couldn't feel that, then that means he didn't mean nothing to us.
But it's not just the team here in Regina mourning the loss of Dalke.
The amount of support that we're getting from other CFL teams and the league is really, really unbelievable. You know, it's a small league, and a lot of players have played with Jaden.
O'Day's comments came before RCMP released news that alcohol and cannabis were found in Dalke's vehicle, with the toxicology report still pending.
It doesn't change anything. You know, we lost a member of our organization, a beloved teammate, somebody that meant a lot to us here in our organization. It's been tough 24 hours.
Linebacker Nick Weeb says Dalke was one of his closest friends on the team and that he will cherish the final phone conversation the two shared on the weekend when Dalke was traveling back to Regina from Alberta.
I think the one thing that I'll always be able to look back on and kind of smile at is we told each other we said we loved each other when we signed off the phone. So the last thing I ever said was that I loved him.
Mace says the team is leaning on one another during this trying time.
You got a bunch of the people in the building who truly care. So again, you couldn't ask to be around better people in something like this.
Adding that he wants Dalke to be remembered as a relentless competitor and somebody that always put a smile on people's faces. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
2 people have died following a crash in the Outlook area. RCMP say it happened on Thursday afternoon at about 3 o'clock along Highway 219 in the RM of Rudy. A motorcycle and a car collided. The 57-year-old man on the motorcycle from Saskatoon and a 99-year-old man who was a passenger in the car from Outlook both died at the scene. The driver of the car was taken to hospital. There is no word on what contributed to the crash. A Saskatchewan couple who died after being attacked by a bear in northern Saskatchewan last week are being remembered for their kindness, generosity, and their love for their family. A reverend with Christ the King Church in Regina says Jay and Deb McDonald were visiting a cottage at McTavish Lake about 90 kilometers north of L'Orange last Wednesday when the attack happened. Kim Nguyen says Jay's body was found the day of the attack and Deb was found a day after in the woods, adding the church has plans to commemorate their lives. The Ministry of Community Safety says conservation officers found and euthanized the bear suspected in the attack, and a necropsy was scheduled to be done here in Saskatoon. The inquest into the death of a man in Prince Albert following a traffic stop by police is underway. Several witnesses are expected to testify about what happened the night officers tried to remove Bowden Umperville from the vehicle he was in and placed him under arrest. Jasmine Pelche with those details.
The family of Saskatchewan father Bowden Umperville has mixed feelings about the inquest into his death.
As far as the inquest, yeah, it's nice, but I still, to me, it's a little bit lip service because even the word, like, let's look at words, recommendations. We recommend this. It's lip service, right? Until something is done.
In April of 2023, police in Prince Albert were trying to arrest 40-year-old Umperville for outstanding warrants. A report by the Serious Incident Response Team found that the force used by police during the arrest, which included the deployment of tasers, batons, and pepper spray, was lawful. Umperville would later die in hospital. The Serious Incident Response Team says a loaded gun was found on Umperville's person. Chase Sinclair grew up with Umperville and says while Umperville had been involved in criminal activity in the past, he was turning over a new leaf.
He was getting out of something that could be potentially dangerous to him. And the fact of the matter is Bowden didn't kill anybody.
The jury may provide recommendations to prevent similar deaths in the future.
We will definitely be taking those seriously, passing them along to the Saskatchewan Association Chiefs of Police for provincial consideration.
19 witnesses are scheduled to testify at the inquest at Court of King's Bench in Prince Albert, including the forensic pathologist who examined Umperville's body.
He was a provider, he was a good person, and I think that needs to be put before his past charges or his previous encounters with cops or the markings on his face and so on and so forth. He was a human being and he deserves the dignity that he should get.
The presiding coroner expects the inquest will wrap up on Friday, and those involved will hear the jury's conclusions. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
A pedestrian who was hit by a vehicle in Prince Albert over the weekend has died. Police say 58-year-old Kenneth Michael was hit Friday night at about 11:30 on 2nd Avenue. He was taken to hospital with critical injuries but died early Saturday morning. The vehicle that hit Michael left the scene but has been found and seized, but police are still looking for the driver and have released a photo of the suspect car. They are asking anyone who saw the 2005 red Acura four-door sedan Friday evening between 10 and 11:30 are asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Prince Albert police are investigating what they believe is a serious assault that happened in the city on Saturday. Just before noon Saturday, Prince Albert police officers were notified that the RCMP that an adult female was found on the shoulder of Highway 11 just outside of the city. Her injuries were believed to be serious but not life-threatening, and she was taken to hospital for treatment. Police believe the assault took place in Prince Albert and are asking anyone with dash cam footage or anyone who witnessed anything suspicious in that area to contact police or Crime Stoppers. A man facing a murder charge accused of fatally shooting a security guard at an Ontario casino was caught in Saskatoon and arrested by police here. The victim was a 24-year-old man. He was killed on October 9th, 2023 in the Durham region in the Toronto area. Saskatoon police say a 20-year-old man charged with second-degree murder was arrested on Meadows Parkway on July 15th. During his arrest, officers found a loaded handgun. Arrangements have been made to send the accused back to Ontario. The suspect was 17 at the time of the homicide. 2 people from Saskatoon are among 3 people charged with trying to break into a church in North Battleford. RCMP say they were called about a potential break-and-enter at a church on Winder Crescent just after 11 p.m. on July 14th. Officers arrested 5 suspects. The suspects did not get into the church and no damage to the building was found. A fake gun as well as bear spray and other weapons were seized. 2 26-year-olds from Saskatoon were charged as well as a 29-year-old from Wilkie. 2 others were released without charges. Saskatoon firefighters responded to a fire at a boarded-up house in the Mount Royal neighborhood. The Saskatoon Fire Department says crews were called to the 100 block of Avenue U North just before 5 o'clock Sunday morning, where they found smoke and flames coming from a house and a garage. Crews removed boards to check whether the fire had spread inside, then used a chainsaw to access the attic to extinguish the fire and clear smoke from the structure. They also searched the building after finding signs someone may have recently entered the property through the back of the house. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, Laura, dare I say it, today actually felt a little bit cooler in comparison to what we've had.
I was going to say it felt like a cool down compared to that weekend we had where temperatures were in the mid-30s, felt even warmer with that humidity. So yeah, today at around 25 degrees, well, it felt cool out there, felt moderate, but we are still slightly above seasonal temperatures. And we did see a little bit of rain in parts of the city, and it looks like that may continue. I'll have your full weather forecast coming up.
The province is boasting some strong trade numbers that are helping Saskatchewan separate itself from its provincial counterparts. Keenan Sorokon has more on the economic outlook.
A new report from Statistics Canada shows Saskatchewan's wholesale trade grew by more than 17% from May 2026 compared to May 2025. That includes an increase of nearly 10% over the last month, putting Saskatchewan first among all provinces.
I think we'll continue to see Saskatchewan, be at the top or very near the top of economic growth across Canada and a net contributor to this country's economic strength.
Premier Scott Moe has been busy going to at least 10 countries for various trade missions over the last 2 years. Strengthening those relationships and encouraging new ones has had a helping hand in diversifying the marketplace and increasing the province's manufacturing sales numbers.
In China and or India, we have been in both of those countries when, Canada and, for example, India's relationship was not that strong.
And that's been felt in the private sector. Last week, the Saskatchewan Trade and Export Partnership hosted an agriculture showcase, putting buyers from 14 countries in a room with 25 Saskatchewan businesses to work out potential deals.
It makes the job of putting those products in the hands of global customers an important piece of work that we're proud to do.
Stats Canada says Saskatchewan's biggest gains came from food manufacturing sales, and that's what brought Pilar Ortiz from Colombia, which buys 1 million tons of wheat from Saskatchewan every year. Growing that strong relationship face-to-face was an opportunity she couldn't pass up.
The work of the farmers in Saskatchewan is appreciated in my country because we appreciate too much the quality of the wheat of Saskatchewan.
Lane says interest from places like South Asia and Latin America is all part of the expanded trade market of the growing Saskatchewan economy. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A lucky dog is now safe after surviving on its own in the forest in Prince Albert National Park. A cyclist spotted the dog wandering near an intersection southwest of Waskesiu, and it wasn't long before the community rallied together to get the little pup out of danger in the wilderness.
He's staying in this area, and then across the road he goes. This is the small dog that had many people in and around Prince Albert National Park worried last week. Kelly Patrick came upon a cyclist in the ditch in this forested area about 4 kilometers southwest of the town site of Waskesiu.
So I stopped and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, there's a dog that I just saw that ran into the trees." And I said, "Well, did you call the park?"
The park was notified, but Patrick also took to Facebook to spread the word.
We were all concerned because the bugs are very bad. There's a lot of fox, there's coyotes.
Video of the lone dog in the wooded area started making the rounds online. Comments flooded social media. People concerned that the area is also known for bears, wolves, and other predators. It's not exactly clear how long the dog was out here, but it was at least one night. As more people tried to help, the dog kept its distance. Treats and friendly calls not working.
This little dog in Waskesiu, he's like creating his own little status there.
Dave Magnuson, a dog behaviorist, says that's not unusual. The dog was operating on instinct.
Seeing the dog, seeing his pupils, seeing energetically what I saw is a dog that was actually wanting to not be held captive anymore, wherever he was.
He says as descendants of wolves, dogs still carry a natural survival skill that can help them get by for a short time. But because this guy was alone, the story could have ended very badly.
Doesn't have all the skills. He's a smaller creature. He's not a big, and even a bigger dog in the wild is going to be hunted out by a pack of coyotes or a pack of wolves.
In the end, it took some quick thinking from this rescuer with a net to finally get the dog to safety. Now, after an adventure that captured the attention of many strangers across the region, the pup is recovering in foster care in Humboldt. Carla Shinkruk, CTV News, Waskesiu.
Competitive water skiers from across Western Canada put their talents on display in Saskatoon this weekend. As Stacey Hine tells us, the Bridge City played host to the Western Canadian Water Ski Championships.
This is Saskatoon's Carter Lucas showing off his skills on the water. The 23-year-old is competing in the tricks event at the Western Canadian Water Ski Championships.
So you have 20 seconds and 2 passes, and you're doing as many tricks as possible.
Lucas is one of more than 50 athletes from across Western Canada competing in tricks, slalom, and jump.
So it's all of Western Canada. They all come over here and you're competing for, well, whoever's the best in the West.
This event is also a qualifier for the Canadian National Water Ski Championships.
So if you win this event or you get a good enough score, you can go to nationals. You can also then start to make national teams, go into World Championships, Pan American Championships, and other tournaments across the world.
The Saskatoon Water Ski Club says it's proud to host this year's event.
We have a world-class facility here right in Saskatoon. It is fantastic for our Saskatchewan athletes to have access to this facility, and it's a great opportunity to showcase what we have to the other provinces.
The club will be on the international stage next summer after being awarded the right to host the 2027 Adaptive World Water Ski Championship.
We're busily preparing for that a year in advance, of course, because there's a lot of work to be done.
All right, we have Ashley Berg here. Adaptive water skier Ashley Berg says she's excited the World Championships are coming to her home site.
The fact that it's in Saskatoon is really huge. I really didn't think that it was going to happen at my home site, so I'm really pumped about it.
Berg says water skiing is an inclusive sport and hopes hosting the World Championships will encourage more people to give it a try. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, new tariff threats from Donald Trump. Also, the celebrations for Spain following the World Cup final. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. U.S. President Donald Trump says he is imposing new 50% tariffs on most Canadian goods. The U.S. president says Ottawa has unfairly discriminated against American autos, alcohol, and dairy products. The Trump administration official said Canada was one of the only nations other than China to retaliate against the president's previous tariffs and must be held accountable. The 50% duties would include goods previously protected from import taxes by the North American Trade Pact that recently expired. Trump has also requested his aides look into additional tariffs on Canada because the wildfires hurt air quality in the U.S. Meanwhile, Ontario's premier had a message for Donald Trump today about the wildfires burning in the northern part of that province. The U.S. president is threatening Canada over the toxic smoke that is flowing across the border. But Doug Ford says instead of complaining, Washington should be helping. CTV's Mike Couture reports.
Send up some water bombers, send up some wildland firefighters.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says instead of the threat of tariffs, President Trump should send help to fight the wildfires. It came after the U.S. leader said he spoke to Prime Minister Mark Carney about the smoke that was blanketing some American cities.
We got to stop the fires up there. If we can help them, we'll help them. But maybe they should pay us some damages or something, or we should do some tariffs.
That suggestion drew this response from Ford.
Rather than criticize and threaten Canada, your closest friends, maybe one day you're going to need our help like you did last year, and we deployed the people. I get frustrated just listening to that bunch of rubbish.
Prime Minister Carney did talk to Trump at Sunday's soccer match. In a statement, his office said the Prime Minister provided an update on the wildfire management and the comprehensive approach taken to ensure the safety of all Canadians and Americans.
You have to take his threat seriously, even though it is nonsense.
Brian Clow was the former Deputy Chief of Staff to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He believes Canadian officials have been reaching out to their U.S. counterparts.
They are reacting calmly, factually, providing information to the Americans to try to bring the temperature down.
A sign that perhaps it's working. Pete Hoekstra made a toast to the Canada-U.S. relationship over some American whiskey in Edmonton. While he didn't weigh in on CUSMA negotiations, he was optimistic about bilateral trade.
We're going to end up with a deal between two large trading partners.
And it seems the latest threats haven't derailed other joint projects. Hoekstra said he'll be at Friday's opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge with Canadian officials. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
To Calgary now, where the search is on for an 11-year-old boy who disappeared from his day home last week. The public is being asked to help look for the nonverbal child as police scour the streets looking for any signs of him. Today, they released new surveillance video, hoping it will help. Tyson Fedor with those details.
New surveillance video of 11-year-old Parker Wells has been released. This video is from last Thursday and shows Parker without a shirt walking near Busy McKnight Boulevard and Center Street. It was captured nearly 20 minutes before this video when Parker is wandering along a residential Travis Crescent directly north of that business location.
These files, searches of this degree, are very, very rare in Calgary.
Search efforts ramped up over the weekend searching for Parker, who is nonverbal and has autism. Thursday, he was reported missing from his day home, some of his clothing found shortly after. He was then captured on 2 separate security cameras before police notified the public of his disappearance, and an Alberta emergency alert was issued over the weekend.
He needs us, like he needs the position that he's in. He needs as much help as possible.
Hundreds of volunteers signed up with Stephen Fan, who is coordinating searches.
My heart aches for that family. They've indicated that they would like us to focus our search within this area.
Residents have left food and water out for Parker, who police say you should not approach, as he may be scared and functions at the level of a 2 or 3-year-old.
Just because a door is locked does not mean that Parker's not on the other side.
However, with the search into day 5, every minute he is not found without access to water or food could become dangerous.
We're going to keep hoping that he's alive, and we are going to keep acting as if he is alive.
Police say he could be hiding in garages, sheds, or under decks.
This is going to take everyone in order to be able to find him, because there are so many places in Calgary where a child of this size could hide.
The investigation, depending on what we find in the next 12 hours, the next 24 hours, the next 36 hours, we will respond with the best possible resource we have.
Juliana Mello's son, Paulo, is also autistic. Paulo went searching with his friend over the weekend.
They know the mindset. So I said, search where you would hide or where you think your friends would hide.
And Monday, he asked her to help, their vehicle now covered in posters.
I felt this great anxiety, and I love Calgary so much that if we could maybe a fresh set of eyes, or maybe we'll lure him out of hiding.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Spain is on top of the soccer universe after beating Argentina to take home the World Cup. That was the magic moment clinching the championship for Spain. Ferran Torres found the back of the net, scoring in extra time. Despite the 1-0 score, the game wasn't that close. Spain dominated the play, and Argentina didn't register a shot until extra time. Spain receiving a hero's welcome as they arrived in Madrid. This is Spain's second World Cup title. Spain is also the current holder of the Women's World Cup and European Championship. All right, Laura, Jeff left you a pretty decent forecast. No tuning up to do, I don't think.
No, he did pretty well here. Usually he leaves me snow.
Yeah, no snow.
No snow in the forecast. We might see a little bit of rain. There is a chance of some thunderstorms overnight and into tomorrow morning, but chances are pretty low at this stage, around 30%. 22 degrees in Saskatoon right now, 23 in Prince Albert, 22 and sunshine in the Battlefords. You can see in those two areas the wind speed starting to pick up. We might see some of the northern wildfire smoke drifting into that area. 23 degrees was the high today in Saskatoon. 16 was the low. We're about on par for normal temperatures. The record of 40 degrees set in 1941, record low 3 degrees in 1972. And we're losing a little bit of sunshine as that sun sets at 9:14. Your full weather forecast is coming up.
Coming up, something new for mountain bike enthusiasts. A look at the trail they can now take.
Attention playwrights and playgoers. On the next Your Morning Saskatchewan, we are teeing up Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan as it makes its triumphant return to Saskatoon.
Well, it's looking like a pretty cloudy evening here in Saskatoon. A pretty nice evening. Not as warm as we saw on the weekend. Things feeling like 41 degrees with that humidity, and I totally believe it. It was hot out there. It was buggy out there. I mean, you know, the winter we have to deal with the snow, and then the summer we have to deal with those mosquitoes. Like, can't we get one win here? But it should be a pretty nice week. I won't complain anymore. Well, I will, but here we go. Here's the look at our radar and satellite map. Now you can see those green blobs. That represents the rainfall, if we get any showers there. So it's looking pretty sparse, and it's looking like it's heading east towards Manitoba. So we might get a little bit of rain tomorrow. Here's a look at our current conditions. Mix of sun and clouds in Saskatoon, 22 degrees, 23 in Prince Albert, and 22 in the Battlefords. And you can see the wind speeds starting to pick up just a little bit there. As for the hot spot, Val Marie at 26, cold spot at Stony Rapids at 9 degrees. And let's go around the province now for our current temperatures, about 23 degrees in central Saskatchewan. As we head up north, slightly cooler, but not by much, and around 23 degrees in the north. And there might be a little more smoke up there as those wind speeds pick up, so might be a little bit smoky tonight and into tomorrow. Around 20 degrees for southern Saskatchewan, a little warmer in Weyburn at 24 degrees. Let's take a look at our futurecast now. There's a look at our futurecast. A little bit of cloud coverage, and you can see a little bit of precipitation heading into Saskatoon and Prince Albert, a little bit in Regina. We might see it in the afternoon. It might be sparse. It might not come at all, so keeping an eye on those systems. In the north, looking like 25 degrees, and as we head to west central Saskatchewan, about the same, feeling similar as it was today, maybe a little more cloudy, but all in all, a pretty nice day and on par for normal temperatures for this time of year. Let's take a look at our regional forecast with the Battlefords. Tonight, 30% chance of showers, a risk of thunderstorms with those wind speeds picking up. Tomorrow, 30% chance of showers and feeling a little warmer with that humidity. There was a chance of the rain sticking around on Wednesday. Looks like that has cleared. And take a look at our weekend forecast. That's where my eyes go. I just look at Saturday and Sunday, and things are looking like another hot weekend. A risk of thunderstorms tonight in Prince Albert as well, and a chance of some showers tomorrow. As for Wednesday, looking like it might stick around, and then Thursday, Friday, mix of sun and cloud, and then another hot, spicy weekend. As for overnight in Saskatoon, 12 degrees, cooling down, a risk of thunderstorms. I don't know how to make these graphics less extreme, but that's what we got. Maybe we won't see quite that scene, but you get the picture there. Tomorrow, 26, mix of sun and clouds, low wind speeds, pretty nice day out there. And then Wednesday, even warmer at 29 degrees. Thursday and Friday getting into the 30s, and then Saturday and Sunday, oh my goodness, another hot weekend. Looks like we're beating out Prince Albert and Battlefords in terms of temperature for the weekend and into later this week as well, with those 30-degree temperatures. So get your sunscreen, crank that AC, because I think we're going to need it. The first ever World Cup halftime show was full of star power. Madonna, BTS, Shakira took the stage for an epic performance. It was curated by Coldplay's Chris Martin, who also took the stage with a choir of elementary school students from Staten Island.
All right, young man, let's go. It's your big shot. Okay, now listen to me. Go out there, don't be nervous. Nobody's watching, all right? Make us proud.
And before Justin Bieber took to the field to perform, he received a pep talk from everyone's favorite soccer coach. Yeah, that's right. That's Ted Lasso. Bieber performed Everything Hallelujah with lyrics changed to be World Cup specific. Each headliner spent about 2 minutes performing. In total, the show lasted nearly 30 minutes, which is double the time typically allowed under International Football Association board rules.
I think his king is coming back.
No, he's not.
Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey set sail this weekend. The star-studded take on the Greek epic tale debuted with $124.5 million US across North America, the best live-action debut of the year so far.
All right, Laura, the pics of the day have been rolling in all weekend, so you had a tough choice today.
A tough choice. We had a beautiful weekend, a hot weekend, but people were out there with their cameras, so thanks so much for everyone that took some pictures and sent them in. This one was sent to us by Wendy, and she says, I took these pictures over the weekend near Hillmond. So beautiful. If you have a chance to drive outside the city, I was out near Valley Road, and it was just beautiful to see all the canola fields, so another great shot of that near Hillmond. We also have this picture coming to us from Joan. She says, hi, I take a gazillion pictures. We love to see them. This is my favorite taken at Grace United Church in Nutana. A little later on my walk, it started to rain, but the gardens and the lilies right now are loving it. So that's great, and we're loving the pictures, and we have one more to show you. This one was taken by Jordan, and says, shot in northern provincial forest near Waskesiu, passing thunderstorm on Saturday. So a really beautiful shot of the sky. You can see all those colors. So thanks so much, Jordan, for sending those in. Thanks to everyone who sends us your pictures. They're hard to choose. They are really hard to choose. I don't know how Jeff does this every day. If you have some pictures you'd like to take, you can send them in at cfqcnews@ctv.ca.
Still to come on CTV News, the province unveils a new path for some to take, the adventure that awaits for mountain bike enthusiasts.
Your Morning Minute, presented by Sound Impressions Hearing Center.
Need your hearing tested? Cassandra Grabowski can help you. Cassandra, what should people do to prepare for a test?
Well, first of all, make that call at one of our 2 locations. Bring a family member. It makes the experience so much better just to have a trusted friend, family member, or partner to come along with you. Write down any symptoms that you might have and how long you've had some hearing issues.
Perfect. And no referral necessary?
No referral necessary.
And if you're over 50?
First hearing assessment is complimentary.
Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Important that family member piece, though, just to have someone else to hear what you're told at the end.
Absolutely. It just makes the whole experience just more comfortable, and rest assured we'll send you home with good information.
Brilliant. You can find Cassandra and her team at soundimpressions.ca. Your Morning Saskatchewan airs 6 to 9, Monday to Friday on CTV and Crave.
Saskatchewan has a new offering for mountain bike enthusiasts. A new trail is now open at Buffalo Pound Provincial Park. Mick Favel takes us there.
Biking legend Lisa Franks doing the honors, opening Saskatchewan's newest biking trails. Located in Buffalo Pound Provincial Park, Franks says riders of all levels can enjoy the paths.
This is such a great trail for people to advance their skills, even adaptive riders. A lot of our trails, you find you're just going really slow and cautiously, but on this trail you can start to develop your skills.
Those in the biking community say trails in Saskatchewan are unique, with some created to take advantage of the flat elevation. The new trail is likely to shock new and experienced riders.
They'd be surprised on how much elevation is out here and what we've done with the elevation to make it more mountain bike friendly, so it's like professionally built, so it's a proper trail.
The trails have been in development for a few years and are located at the Old White Track Ski Hill. Approximately 1,000 meters in length, this trail includes berms, rollers, and jumps.
The mountain biking community is already quite vibrant in Saskatchewan, and Buffalo Pound is one of the premier locations for that. This is a great addition to further complement the already existing trail network.
The government of Saskatchewan helped fund the construction of the trails, contributing $125,000. It took only 8 days to construct and has already dealt with heavy moisture this year. Those who helped say it is showing its sturdiness.
With regular maintenance through a weekly and then a yearly audit, this trail could last forever, and it definitely has the opportunity to build out a future and larger network here at Buffalo Pound.
Those looking to try the new trails can do so by paying the entry fee to the park, which also gives them access to other areas. Mick Favel, CTV News, Buffalo Pound Provincial Park.
When we come back, some top talent in the baseball world in Saskatoon, and later a tribute that is cropped up in honor of Spain's victory.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Saskatoon Pro Tennis Classic 2026 is underway at Riverside Badminton and Tennis Club. This is professional women's tennis with international players competing for prize money and WTA ranking points. The Man Art Gallery in Prince Albert is holding a plein air drawing workshop on Wednesday, July 29th between 6:30 and 8:30. You can submit your community event by visiting our website and clicking on Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, looking like a mix of sun and cloud right across the province. Might see some periods of some showers, maybe a couple drops here and there, but all in all, a pretty nice day tomorrow for our rural forecast. Here I go. Don't trip on anything. Okay, made it. 23 degrees in Spiritwood, right across central Saskatchewan, around 23, 24. A little warmer, an outlook at 26. Kindersley feeling quite the same. And as we head down south, mix of sun and cloud in southern Saskatchewan as well. More sun in certain areas at certain points of the day, depending on where that system rolls through. 28 in Maple Creek, looking like it might be the hot spot in our province, and things feeling a little cooler than what we saw over the weekend. So some good news there, a little bit of relief. And let's take a look now at Elbow, 26 degrees, feeling more like 28 with that humidity. So even though we're seeing those temperatures, you have to consider the humidity and how things are really feeling. Just like the winter with the wind chill, it's kind of the same, but better, I would say. And so, yeah, mix of sun and cloud. And of course, Elbow is where internet speeds are from SaskTel, and they're available. So thanks so much.
Top talent in the Canadian Western Baseball League took center stage at Saskatoon's Cairns Field over the weekend. The league's All-Star Weekend featured a bunt competition, home run derby, and Sunday's All-Star Game. Team East closed out the weekend with a 9-2 win over Team West. Baseball fans said they were excited to see the league's best players in Saskatoon.
Get to see all the best players in the league in your home backyard. This is great.
Super fun. Saskatoon's a great sports city, so it's nice to get out to things like this and support it.
It's awesome. This is only our second time we've been at the game, but yeah, it's fun. It's a great event.
Sylvan Lake, Alberta will host the WCBL's All-Star Weekend next year. Saskatchewan residents will have a new direct flight to Mexico this winter. WestJet will begin operating a once-weekly flight to San Jose del Cabo from Regina starting in mid-December. San Jose del Cabo is on the southern end of the Baja California Sur, west of mainland Mexico. The first flight takes off December 14th. Inflation slowed in June to 2.8% year over year. The slowdown, though, might be short-lived. It was driven by the slower rate of gas increases, but the cost of a lot of our supplies is still rising. Jean-Bia Boschman is adding up the numbers.
The shopping list of price increases for grocery staples in June includes fresh and frozen chicken up 5.7% compared to May, and bread rolls and buns cost 6% more. Overall, the price tag to feed a family continues to rise, June marking the 17th consecutive month that the inflation in grocery prices outpaced the all-item consumer price index.
Over the last 5 years, prices have increased 20%. Grocery prices have increased 30%.
In June, the price of fresh fruits like grapes helped lessen the gap, and the large increases of the cost of tomatoes of the last year and a half have slowed. Still, one that cost $1.20 then now costs $1.80, and there could be a wild card for upcoming fruit and vegetable prices, and that's whether wildfire smoke impacts crops.
For tomatoes, they will be forming and growing, and that could make for smaller tomatoes or fewer tomatoes. So we don't know. It's very difficult to measure.
Now, that higher price tag has widespread implications. It may be midsummer, but back-to-school shopping is already on.
It was about $130, and I'm not done.
Aid groups say families struggling to fill grocery baskets have little left to fill backpacks.
When you have to choose between paying your bills, between paying your rent, or with feeding your family, school supplies down the list.
And while the cost of grocery baskets were up 3.9% in June, the overall inflation slowed to 2.8%, in large part driven by gas prices. In June, there were diplomatic talks and an interim ceasefire that was announced in the conflict in Iran. Renewed tensions have already seen prices at the pump rise this month. And the cost of travel-related services also went up, particularly in Toronto and Vancouver, World Cup host cities, where hotel room costs rose. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
Coming up, why this pig is perched at the top of a hill. Then the crop creation celebrating Spain.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here tonight at 7, starting with American Ninja Warrior. All right, Laura, this new pig, you could say, is bringing home the bacon. Perched atop a giant hill in Colombia, this piggy bank weighs roughly 30 tons and it stands 9 meters tall. It now holds the Guinness World Record for the largest piggy bank in the world. And it's all for a good cause. Built with a working slot, visitors are encouraged to drop their change into the sculpture, with all proceeds being donated to a local animal shelter in the city. So it has a few purposes.
How did they get it in there?
I don't know. A crane, maybe?
Yeah, how do you get your quarter in there?
Oh, the coins.
Yes.
A tall ladder?
Yeah.
Maybe?
I'd like to know.
We'll investigate. We'll get back to you. All right, well, as Spain celebrates its World Cup win, a special tribute has cropped up in a farmer's field. Take a look at this. Dario Gambarin used a tractor and a plow to carve the artwork in his 30,000 square meter field near Verona. He says he dedicated his creation to the universal value of sport and its ability to unite people and nations. Over the years, he has portrayed many prominent political and historical figures, including Pope Leo, Pope Francis, Barack Obama, and Nelson Mandela. Either he just knew who was going to win, or he's really fast.
Yeah, he must have been fast. Hey, no one does this in Saskatchewan, do they? Do we know of any?
Not like that. I mean, no. If anybody knows of anybody, we'd like.
Maybe they could do like a star or a heart,
something like that,
before they work up to doing Chantel Saunders.
Or I was going to say, or Laura Woodward.
There you go.
Big heart or something.
Yeah, I think we got to get on this. We have so much land.
We have so much to investigate. Thanks for watching.
Good night.